Part 1. The surprise attack on Green Hills. The sun was shining bright over the rolling green hills. It was a perfect day for a race. Sonic the Hedgehog was a blue blur, zipping across the grass so fast that the flowers danced in his wake. Right beside him was Shadow. Shadow was a black and red hedgehog who looked very serious, but even he was having a little bit of fun today. "Beat you to the big oak tree, Shadow," Sonic shouted with a big, toothy grin. Shadow didn't say a word. He just used his rocket shoes to hover over the ground, moving like a dark streak of lightning. "Not a chance, Sonic," Shadow replied. They were moving so fast that the wind whistled in their ears. Down by the sparkling blue pond, their friends were having a picnic. Tails the fox was busy fixing a small toy plane, and Knuckles the echidna was eating a very large sandwich. Everything was peaceful. But then, the sky started to turn grey. A loud, mechanical humming sound filled the air. Whir, clank, boom. Suddenly, a giant floating egg-shaped ship descended from the clouds. It was Dr. Robotnik. He was laughing his loud, mean laugh. "Ho ho ho! Did you miss me, Sonic? I've built a brand new machine to take over Green Hills. I call it the Mega Grabber." Two giant robotic arms reached down from the ship. One arm tried to grab Tails' toolbox, and the other headed straight for Knuckles' sandwich. "Hey, give that back!" Knuckles yelled, shaking his fist at the sky. Sonic and Shadow skidded to a stop, kicking up a cloud of dust. Sonic looked at Shadow and nodded. "Ready to save the day, Shadow?" Shadow crossed his arms and let out a small huff. "Let's get this over with. Nobody ruins a race on my watch." Robotnik pressed a big red button on his control panel. Badniks. Attack. Small robot ladybugs and buzzing mechanical bees flew out of the ship, heading straight for the village. The poor animals of Green Hills were scared. Sonic stretched his legs. "Shadow, you handle the robots in the village. I'll go after the Mega Grabber and help Tails and Knuckles." "Fine," Shadow said. "Just don't get in my way." With a loud pop, Shadow disappeared in a flash of light, using his chaos control to teleport toward the robots. Sonic curled into a tight blue ball and launched himself into the air like a cannonball. The battle for Green Hills had begun, and the heroes were ready to fight. Part 2. The Great Robot Rescue. Shadow appeared in the middle of the village just as the robot ladybugs began to surround the fruit stand. Zap! Zap! The robots were trying to lock the fruit in tiny cages. Shadow didn't like bullies. He skated forward on his rocket boots, moving so smoothly it looked like he was dancing on ice. "Chaos Spear!" Shadow shouted. Yellow bolts of energy flew from his hands, hitting the robots and turning them into piles of harmless scrap metal. The villagers cheered. "Thank you, Shadow," a little rabbit called out. Shadow just gave a small, cool nod and kept moving. He had a job to finish. Meanwhile, back at the pond, Sonic was bouncing off the giant metal arms of the Mega Grabber. Boing! Crash! Zap! "Ha! You missed me, Eggman," Sonic teased, sticking out his tongue. Robotnik was getting very frustrated. "Stop moving, you pesky hedgehog," he screamed, banging his fists on the glass of his cockpit. The giant robot arm swung wildly, nearly hitting Tails. "Watch out, Tails!" Sonic cried. Tails spun his two fluffy tails like a helicopter and flew high into the air, just in time. "I'm okay, Sonic. But look, Robotnik is trying to use a giant magnet to pull all the rings out of the ground. Sonic looked down. A giant purple magnet was emerging from the bottom of the ship. If Robotnik got all the rings, he would have enough power to stay in Green Hills forever. Not if I can help it, Sonic said. But then, something went wrong. Robotnik launched a sticky, purple goo from the ship. It landed right on Sonic's feet. "Oh no! I'm stuck!" Sonic cried, pulling as hard as he could. The more he pulled, the stickier the goo became. Robotnik laughed so hard his mustache wiggled. "I finally caught you, Sonic. Now, nothing can stop me." The giant magnet began to glow. The ground started to shake. Suddenly, a dark shape flew through the air. It was Shadow. He had finished saving the village and had come back to help. Shadow saw Sonic stuck in the goo. "You really are a messy eater, Sonic," Shadow joked. Shadow used his strength to pull Sonic free. Rip! Sonic was back on his feet. "Thanks, Shadow. I owe you one," Sonic said, shaking the sticky goo off his sneakers. "Don't thank me yet," Shadow said, pointing up. Robotnik is charging his biggest laser. "We need to work together to stop that ship before it's too late." Sonic and Shadow stood side by side, looking up at the giant egg grabber. It was time for a plan. Part 3: The Ultimate Teamwork. The sky was glowing purple as the Mega Grabber prepared its final attack. Dr. Robotnik was shouting orders to his computers. "Power at 100%. Prepare to fire the Confuso beam." If the beam hit Green Hills, everyone would forget where they were and Robotnik could build his theme park right over the town. Tails and Knuckles ran over to Sonic and Shadow. "How can we help?" Tails asked, holding a wrench. Sonic looked at his friends. "Tails, you and Knuckles need to find the power cable under the ship. If you can pull it out, the shield will go down. Shadow and I will do the rest." "You got it," Knuckles said, cracking his knuckles. "I'll punch the metal, and Tails can find the wire." They ran toward the base of the ship, working together as a team. "Ready, Shadow?" Sonic asked. Shadow took a deep breath. "Ready." The two hedgehogs started to run in a big circle around the ship. Faster and faster they went. Sonic was a blue circle, and Shadow was a red and black circle. They were moving so fast they created a giant tornado of wind. The wind was so strong it started to lift the giant ship into the air. "Whoa! Stop it! My ship isn't a kite!" Robotnik yelled, clutching his seat. Suddenly, there was a loud snap. Tails and Knuckles had pulled the power cable. The purple glow around the ship disappeared. "Now!" Sonic shouted. Shadow grabbed Sonic's hand and spun him around and around. Chaos! Control! Shadow used his energy to give Sonic a massive boost. Sonic turned into a golden blue fireball and shot straight through the center of the Mega Grabber. Boom! Kaboom! The ship began to fall apart. Tiny pieces of metal rained down like confetti. Robotnik's seat turned into a small escape pod with a little propeller. "I'll be back, Sonic." "This isn't over," he yelled as he flew away toward the mountains. Sonic landed perfectly on his feet and gave a thumbs up. "See why later, Eggman." The sun came back out, and the birds started to sing again. The villagers came out of their houses and cheered louder than ever. Tails, Knuckles, Sonic, and Shadow all stood together. "We did it!" Tails cheered. "And we still have time for the picnic." Knuckles found his sandwich. It was a little dusty, but he didn't mind. He took a big bite and smiled. Sonic looked at Shadow. "So, want to finish our race? I think I can still beat you." Shadow actually smiled. Just a little bit. "In your dreams, Sonic." And with a burst of speed, the two fastest hedgehogs in the world zoomed off into the sunset, ready for their next big adventure. The end.